was a waitress. When the Hollands sold it, Brian's father purchased it and renamed it Emma Jean's Hollandburger Café. And it has been in the family ever since. His mother passed, and his father passed in 2008? Yes, his father passed 2008. And Brian and Shauna are running it as a husband and wife team since. And I don't know if you guys have eaten here, but it's well worth it. If your cholesterol's a little low, yeah, come on over. Boom, it'll go right up. Yeah, there's actually a Lipitor machine in the bathroom.
Gas, it's empty.
No, yeah. So anyway, but yeah, this is one of the few. Actually, it's the oldest standing operating restaurant in the Victorville area, and it's one of the few iconic Route 66 buildings left. I've spent a lot of time wandering up and down Route 66, as a lot of you have, and most of the places have fallen into disrepair and are bulldozed under. And part of the reason we wanted to give this place mention was the fact it's still standing and it's operable. And you walk in there and you think you're going in a time warp. It's really neat, and I highly recommend, if you haven't eaten here, make a point, come out here and eat, and wear your red shirt. Yeah. Brother Brian here will take care of you. And not only is this place very historic, the area surrounding this is real historic. In fact, my good friend Dave With Pants Taylor, if he will step up here, he's done a lot of research for me, and he's going to give us a little bit of a small talk, very short, because he who talks short gets invited back, and talk about Lanes Crossing down where we stayed. I know I mentioned a little bit about it, but that's a historic place to do. If you could come on up, Dave.
Keep your pants on, Dave.
His pants are on. We made sure of that. Well, who stood here last?
So you can talk?
I can talk. Yes. Do we have another color?
No, where we had the opportunity to stay is truly historic. Probably one of the most historic places in the East Mojave. All roads went there. Literally, all roads went there. There were about 3 safe crossings on the Mojave where they didn't get introduced to quicksand or some other high flood problem, and one of them there was at Lanes. I picked this up yesterday. We took a group up to the Talmadge Sawmill, which is across the street from our clamp site. That barn that you saw collapsed over there was hauled down on the Van Dusen Road. That was the Talmadge family sawmill, and it came down from Holcomb Valley in about 1880. It stood there until about a year and a half ago. That's all mortise and tenon and wood peg construction. It's fantastic. What I have here is a mano. This is the other half to a metate. These are very rare. Metates were more communal. These were personal items. These are grinding stones. They fit real nice in your hand. This was picked up just across the street from the clamp site yesterday. I will return it back. But these were personal items, and after the person died, they were typically broke. This one is not broke. The Osborns have a couple more that they found over there. It's truly a historical place. It's a very spiritual place. Back in 1942, there were 26 bodies unearthed on the sandhills just to the south of the clamp site. They were determined to be Chumash Indians based on their necklaces and their the shells that they were buried with. They were all buried kneeling and facing the river. We were somewhere in here is the village, the Serrano village to Piobet. And people have occupied this place for several thousand years. Very, very historic and very spiritual place. Also in modern day times, we're no different than anybody else. People travel the point of least resistance. That's why this cafe is here, and that's why Route 66 is here. Well, nothing was different back in the ancients. No matter how you came into Southern California, whether you were Garces or whether you were Kit Carson guiding the last Fremont expedition going back to Colorado, chances are you ended up crossing right where we were camped out. To my right, just to the north and upriver, is Roy Rogers' Double R Bar Ranch. To my left is the home of the Cowboys Cowboy. and everybody knows Mr. Bascom. Earl Bascom is responsible literally for modern day rodeo. Some of his saddles and his artistry, both in bronze and in painting, fetch the highest dollars, as much as Remington. And he's just over, his place, he died in 1995. His place is just beyond these cottonwood trees over my left shoulder, over off Stoddard Wells Road on the other side of the river. So, you know, from bare feet to wagon wheels to what you see behind us today. This has been a place of very significant passage in the settling of certainly the western part of California, or Southern California, and played a very, very important role in California history. So, anyway, thank you, Cass, for the... Did I take too much time, Cass? He's not even paying it. Anyway, thank you.
Yeah, you could do that, or get me a milk crate, or I'd fall off. Yes, and I am standing, Rick Gavin. I would like to mention, not really in closing, but for anybody that's interested, there's a really neat Route 66 museum just down the road on D Street on the right-hand side. Just as you get into town, they're open today, and they would love to have you guys come by there. There's some really neat stuff there. I've been there a number of times. It's cool. Let me think of it. I think I remembered everything I was going to do. Now, we're going to slip from the dedication to, I guess, our dedication. This is actually a changing of the guard for us. If I could have Mr. Doyle Teal come up. And, it's been fun, but all things must come to an end. And I am now an ex-noble grand humbug. And that's the best letter in Clamperdom, is have an X in front of your name. So I'm going to, if Mr. Lapp could come up here, I'm going to pass the ceremonial gavel. We have trouble with gavels, they disappear. This one, for some reason, it doesn't disappear. I don't know, perhaps it's size, nobody can run off with it. And then you have the real gavel that disappears. And I also would like to present you with a official humbug badge. I'm sure he'll find room on there somewhere. He'll get extensions. He can get extensions if that's what it takes.
Let's say the brother.
Satisfactory!
And again, I want to thank all the members of Billy Holcomb for making my year real easy. I couldn't do it without people. You know, one guy can't do it all. It's all everybody, the mortar that holds the bricks together. And I appreciate everybody's help. You know, maybe I don't mention everybody all the time. Being a humbug is kind of like having ADD. You know, you're going to go over there, and boom, you're over there, and then you forgot why you're going over there. So welcome to humbuggery, Mr. Doyle.
Yeah! Good job, Rusty.
I'd like to thank everybody for being here today. And Brian Nash, can you step forward? Yeah, does anybody have a pair of pants for Brian? The shorts are horrible. All right, I would first off like to have this group thank these two gentlemen for their years of service. It's a long time and it's a very big job. Staff and Brian Nash. Dave, I worked so hard for this chapter over the years, and all I can say is I hope I can do half as well as both of them did.
Good luck.
At this time, I'd like to have all the officers step to the forward, please. Officers of Billy Holcomb chapter.
They all quit.
And if you can line up by rank, that would be nice.
Well, they're all pretty ranked. Sound off! Only 10 more minutes.
One of the people that's missing, he's had a personal problem this weekend. Real big hand to me, Turbo Dave. Everybody knows Turbo Dave? I'm going to think about Turbo. Turbo's had a rough couple of days, so keep him in your prayers. All right. Next up is Steven Southern. Good friend of mine. Works very hard for the chapter. He's moving on up. So, thank you. I appreciate it. Next, you may have met this gentleman this weekend if you had anything to eat. My brother, Dustin Teal. Dustin is your new Grand Noble recorder. This is Carl White. Carl White is no longer sous chef, but he's a clamp chef now, so that's bad.
Yeah, well, one of the Crestline boys made it.
Bubblegum and bologna sandwiches next dunes, bro.
I don't know if anybody have ever seen a man walking around in a dress at a Clampout, but I'd like to introduce him.
It's a kilt.
This is Scott Wall. Scott Wall is the new sous chef. He's got 2 years of wonderful experiences every time we go somewhere. This is Bill Hammondtree. Bill's been very busy this weekend, taking care of the PVCs, organizing ropes, and herding cats. So he's done a great job, and I want to thank him. John Ziagos, the new guy, Mr. Hangman.
When all else fails,
Hector Alvarez has been in all of your camps trying to get you to part with your money, and he's done a great job. Thank you. Damn Fool Auctioneer, Mr. Kindig here has done a great job for us. He's only beginning his long journey, and I'm sure it's going to be great for him. And hopefully, soon, he'll be where I am and on the way out to where he is. Thank you. Is Eric Peterson here?
where's Pirate Eric?
Where's the pirate?
Here he comes. He's limping as fast as he can.
Where's your parrot?
Deck isn't rolling, it's weird.
Vitas. Take a big hole. Oh, he ate his parrot last week.
You're only beginning what a lot of us have been on a long path, long one, but welcome to it.
Thank you, brother.
This is your 50-50 pusher, Eric Peterson. I've been asked to rename Cass Ellsworth, and I think it's a viable name. From here on out, he is to be known as the Saint Cass Ellsworth, the ex-NGH of Billy Holcomb. And now I'm about to say nothing, and the person who is being spoken about understands and really appreciates what I'm about to say. Brian Nash, you are nothing. All right, so in closing, I'd like to thank everybody for being here. What a great thing it is to see all of us in your town, spending our money, and being able to spend time with our brothers. So, what saith brethren? Satisfactory! So recorded.
Before we lose everybody, all the PBCs, the new red shirts, need to meet over at the Hangman's van, turn in your worldly possessions, and receive your certificates, because those things cost us big bucks. And I think they back charge about $150 if you don't turn in those hats and plaques.
Yeah, they're hard to get. Hey,
They're hard to get, yeah.
Bill.
Next nothing.
Thank you again.
Another fine mess.